And even though I was humiliated, laughed at, all type of stuff happening to me because I was cutting with my deformity, but know what I got? Attention. I had to learn how to love myself. You can't give up. That's for sure.
That's right. Today, I'm visiting Harold, a master barber and instructor at the American Barber Institute in New York City. Not only is he known for his incredible skill behind the chair, but he was also born with the unique challenge of having a disability that limits the use of his left arm. I'm stopping by to explore how Harold turned what many would see as a limitation into a powerful strength, becoming a legend in the barbering world and an inspiration to the next generation of world-class barbers he's now helping to train.
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Harold, nice to meet you,
Welcome
man.
to the American Barber Institute.
Thank you so much.
The place where stars are born and master barbers are made.
Amazing.
Welcome, man.
I'm so glad to be here, man. Long time coming.
Yeah.
Been wanting to check out your place.
Yes, man. This is it, American Barber Institute.
Wow.
This is all the lovely students we have in here.
How do we tell who the students are?
The students are the ones in the blue jackets.
Okay.
And the instructors got either the black jackets on, or they have a burgundy jacket on like me.
Right.
Here's an instructor director too, David here.
That's very nice.
Yep.
Good to see you, man. How much practice do the students get here? Is it every day that they're doing this?
Every day.
Wow. How long? How much time are they here for? Like usually weeks, months?
4 months.
4 months.
4 months.
That's a long time.
And they learn sanitation, sterilization, and hygiene. They learn how to the cutting hair techniques. They learn the shampoo techniques, the massage techniques. Usually the students do the cutting hair around here.
But even from the very beginning, in the first few days, you have the students already starting to practice, or do they go through some sort of like a didactic session, like lectures or anything like that, or they just kind of get right into it?
No, in the theory, that's the theory class. There's 2 weeks of theory downstairs. So in the 2 weeks of theory class, we'll show them how to handle a razor, the different machines that we have. We show them how to use the sterilization or combs, whatever, like the tools. And it's a must that they learn how to do that, especially in theory, before they even get up here on the practical floor.
Do some of them come in with, some background in cutting hair?
Yes,
like
they
have some experience already?
Some have experience already. Some of them have experience already, they just don't have a license. But it's still something they can learn. There's always something new in barbering.
Yeah.
Because no 2 heads are the same. Every time you do somebody hair, it's a new tactic for you, it's a new technique for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you find that some students catch on quicker than others?
Yes, they do. Some people take a while to get it.
Yes.
But then some can pick up on it real quick, especially the young ones.
Okay.
But I found that, what I found in barbering, in my time of being here, I found in barbering is that anybody who wants to learn how to cut hair, they can learn how to cut hair. If it's really in you want to learn, And that's what I love about barbering so much. My passion for barbering is out of this world. Want me to do a haircut?
I'll jump into a haircut?
Yes, I'm gonna.
Okay.
First I put the necktie on them.
Okay.
Right?
And what's the purpose of that?
That's because this hair won't touch their neck.
Oh, okay.
So just make me on several clients.
Oh, that's right, to keep things as clean as can be.
Yes. And what would you like to get today, sir? Skin fade?
Yes.
Yes. We're low on the top, right?
Yes.
Great.
I'm gonna assume that the people who taught you to cut hair were two-handed barbers. Did you have to make adjustments and adaptations to be able to cut?
I'm glad you asked me that question, because I need to give a shout out to the guy who taught me how to cut hair.
Yeah, who's that?
His name is David Presley.
Okay.
I call him DP, Desperado. David Presley, that's his name.
Yes.
He taught me how to cut hair, and he helped me learn with these Oyster 76s. He taught me how to cut
That's the name of the tool?
of the machine.
Oh, the classic, okay.
Oysters Classic 76
76, okay.
is what I learned how to cut hair with. Yes, I did.
Was he a two-handed barber? Or
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
So did you have to take what he taught you and kind of modify that to
adjust for me?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had to do everything with one hand.
Right.
I had to learn how to adjust with one hand. I also had to learn how to humble myself. Because when people see that one hand, they don't want to know, they ain't know if I know how to cut hair or not.
Right. For them to trust you.
Yeah.
You have to kind of gain their trust.
And sometimes that was really it wasn't embarrassing, but it's something that make you feel kind of bad, try to discourage you. And the person don't believe in you if you know how to cut hair or not.
Right. I'm sure you got that question a lot in the early days.
A lot of times. Yes, I did.
Yeah, earn their trust, convince them.
When I first started out. Yes, they did. They now I'm going to 1.5.
Yes, okay.
What I'm doing now, I'm cutting high to the low.
Okay.
It's called high to low.
Okay.
My low is the 000.
Okay.
My high is a 1.5.
Okay. Oh, nice. Go right from the middle.
Yep.
No going back right after that.
No going back after that.
When I operate, you know, it's very important for me to always remember like what my less dominant hand is doing, you know? And so I can only imagine if I could only do it with one hand, there's a lot of things I wouldn't be able to do as well surgically, or I'd have to just learn how to adjust, you know, my every move. So yeah, it's a different process. Also, you know, sometimes people are, you know, left-handed, but equipment is built more for the right hand, so they also have to adjust.
When I first started cutting hair, it was funny because a lot of people didn't, you know, they didn't trust me at first.
Right.
You know, they see me with just one hand. They be like, man, you know how to cut? I got that plenty of times.
Yeah.
Like people jumped out of seats and everything.
Did you ever think of like giving up, or did you want to do it more to kind of prove to them that, hey, I can do this better than most people with two hands?
At times I felt like giving up because it was something new for me.
Yeah.
And when anytime you venture up with something new, sometimes you usually be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Most people be afraid of things they learn is something new. Once I was introduced to how to cut hair, I wanted to learn how to do it. I wanted to keep going forward with it. Mm-hmm. And even though I was humiliated, laughed at, ridiculed, I was all type of stuff happening to me because I was cutting with my deformity. But know what I got? Attention.
Attention. Okay.
Attention.
Okay. People were intrigued.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, wow, he in there cutting hair with one hand. And that's what made me want to do it even more. Mm-hmm. When I seen I was getting that.
Yeah. But even I see the way you're holding the wire with your left hand, it's still helping you.
In a way, yes it is.
In a way.
I had to develop that.
Right. Right. Yes. I mean, I think it's beyond commendable that you were able to persevere, you know, despite all that ridicule I'm sure that you received.
Yes.
You know, people can be cruel.
Oh man, can they be cruel?
Yeah, very cruel. Well, you know, I'm in the hair restoration business too, right? And you can imagine with no hair, I get that comment a lot, like, you know, fix yourself, you know, they say, before you can give other people more hair. They don't really understand, like, my autoimmune condition and all that. But they like to talk, you know, sometimes.
Yeah. You know what I had to learn, Gary, too?
What's that?
I had to learn how to love myself.
Oh, okay.
When I learned to love myself more, and love my craft and love what I'm doing, I got better at it.
Makes sense.
I got better at it.
Yeah.
I got better to the degree where that I didn't even care no more what nobody thought about me, about my deformity and nothing like that.
Yeah.
Because I know what I was doing. And you can't give up.
That's right.
You can't give up. That's for sure.
That's right.
I would encourage anybody that want to get into barbering or anything you get into, if you don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. You believe in yourself, you can make it.
The demographics of the students, it's all types of people, right? Like
all types of people.
All types of people, all backgrounds.
Yeah.
What's been like the most surprising background? Like, was there someone where you're like, wow, I can't believe you're now doing that, you want to do this?
The young ones who come here, and their parents send them here.
The parents bring.
The parents send them here, and they don't want to cut no hair.
Oh, and they don't want to cut hair.
And they don't want to cut hair.
So they're kind of being pushed into it by their parents, but it's not in their heart.
Right, it's not in their heart. But when they meet me, I put it in their heart.
So now what is this move? Is this the blend?
I'm blending right now.
Okay.
I'm blending. This blade here is the number 1.
Okay.
I did the 1.5, I did the 1A, now I'm at the number 1, which I'm blending.
So do you even have to really think anymore when you're doing this, or is it very instinctual?
It's more automatic for me now.
Yeah.
Because I already know what to do.
Yeah.
I already know what blade to get. I already know how much hair coming off. I already know what each blade does.
Yeah.
You must know your tools.
Yeah.
A fireman must know how to use his fire tools.
Right.
A police officer must know how to use his tools.
Yeah.
A doctor must know how to use their tools.
Absolutely.
A barber must know how to use his tools as well.
Yes.
You must know how to use your tools. Yes, you do.
What do you think about, because this is an older tool, right? You were saying like it's a more classic of a razor. The newer tools, I mean, what do you think about them? Are they made like more cheaply, or are they not as versatile?
They're not. They're made more cheaply.
Okay.
Yes, they are. They're made more cheaply, and they don't cut through the hair like the 76ers do.
Do you keep in touch with some of the students once they leave here?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. In case they need to help them get a job or something in the barbershop somewhere.
Yeah.
I keep in touch with them. And it's good to do that too. And I know exactly what to do, what shop to go to.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you gotta encourage them to keep going and keep stay with the profession.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, what happens when you start to see some signs of hair loss? Do you ever point the client in the direction of, oh, you might need to consider talking to a doctor about this or getting on some medications?
Well, honestly speaking, I got some friends right now asking me, well, do you think Dr. Gary can...
But as far as just, because do you ever worry that like maybe pointing that out to them might upset them? You know,
Some people,
like,
you gotta be careful.
Right.
Because some people are sensitive about
They might not want to hear that.
They're sensitive about their hair.
Yes.
They're really sensitive about their hair.
Yeah.
They may not want to be receptive and agree with you about talk about their bald head, that they go on bald in certain spots.
Right.
Everybody ain't comfortable like that. When I was growing up as a child, I wasn't comfortable with talking about my deformity at all the time.
Yeah.
I always felt that, you know, somebody was being disrespectful toward me.
Yeah.
Always asking about my deformity.
You didn't want more attention.
Yeah, I didn't want more attention.
Right.
I didn't want no more attention.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, sometimes people experience hair loss and they're trying to figure out what to do about it and this and that. Other people like kind of rather not know, not think about it. And if you bring attention to it, they just get, you know, annoyed, upset.
They get annoyed and have an attitude and cussing you out and everything.
It's the hairline you do last, or
yes,
that's the last.
Now the hairline, that's what I'm about to do right now.
It's very nice, very
nice and neat, right?
Neat, yeah.
Now, I would give them a lineup. Would you like a lineup?
Yes.
I would start from the middle here. See, like certain spots with a little receding that I can still make a nice sharp line for them.
Okay.
You see?
Okay. Do you think of this as like art?
Yes.
When you're doing it?
Yes.
When you were growing up, were you more like artistic? Did you like to draw and do things like that, or?
No, I didn't.
Really?
I didn't. No, I didn't. That's how I was really surprised at how I took to barbering so good. Because drawing wasn't really my thing. But when I learned how to cut hair, I learned how to see the shape of people's heads.
Right. Yeah, you have to have the vision for
you gotta have the
create.
vision.
Right.
You gotta have the vision of what you want to create. One thing I learned about cutting hair though, when you're making people look good, feel good about themselves, goes a long ways, man.
Of course.
Goes a long way.
Builds up their confidence.
Everybody wanna look good.
That's true.
Whether you got $1 or $1 million.
Doesn't matter.
It don't matter. Everybody wanna look good. And that's what the barber got. That's what the barber comes in. Or like in your profession, you help people look good.
Of course.
Help people look good. Help people to feel good about themselves. That's the part I loved about barbering. How I made people feel.
Yeah.
Cutting their hair.
Absolutely.
Making a person feel good about getting their hair cut. There you go, young man. It's been a pleasure too, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
At the heart of the Institute are students committed to perfecting their craft. From their very first day, students aren't just learning, they're becoming artists.
Ray, how you doing?
Hey.
You don't mind me asking a couple of questions, do you?
Do you mind? No.
What kind of haircut you doing?
Right now on Scott, we're just doing a light taper on the bottom.
Okay.
If he wants to leave the top this time, he's gonna come back he normally gets a skin taper, but he wants to keep it a little bit longer. He has a job interview tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Do you feel like a lot of this is about the strategy, like having a good plan? Or is it more about like the execution, or both?
I think it probably a little bit of both. I mean, I've known Scott for a long time, so I know what his hair looks like.
Right.
It sort of throws you off when somebody wants something new. So I think that it's more about executing it. I go in order, so then I'm like, okay, how does this look? And then showing, and then sort of executing it that way.
That makes sense. How far along are you in the training here?
Oh, so right now is my last one. So I graduated in April.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
What's the most important lesson that you learned here?
Basically, it's like, if your client likes the cut, good. Like basically,
that's
your
what counts.
Yeah, like your cut is basically to please the client. Your cut is like an art. So it's like
it's art, right?
If people see it,
I believe
that's what brings more clients to you.
Yeah.
So
that's your masterpiece.
Yeah.
Each person you send out.
So basically, that's like your craft. So like if people see that, it's gonna bring you more clients. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Every student at the Institute has their own story, their own aspirations. For some, barbering is about connecting with clients. For others, it's about artistic expression. And for all, it's a chance to build a meaningful career. In my conversation with Harold, we explored deeply the shared challenges of our professions, whether it's the temporary stakes of a haircut or the permanent nature of surgery. Our discussion highlighted the importance of clear communication, adaptability, and the courage to learn from mistakes. What about the difficult client, Harold? What do you do about someone who, even when you're asking them what they want, they're all over the place. They don't really know what they want.
You see a lot of them guys, just wait. You could be here all day. You'll see. You'll see them come here like that.
Yeah.
complaining. I don't want this, I don't want that. You ain't doing it right. You ain't doing this right. As a barber, you got to be ready to deal with everybody from 2 to 92.
Right.
So you got to know how to deal with little babies.
Yes.
All the way to the old person.
Right.
You got to know how to deal with all different type of attitudes and behaviors.
For sure.
Because you're dealing with the public.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with the public, you got some people who come in and know what they want, some people come in and don't know what they want.
Right.
You know?
And some are kind and some are not so kind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same way you know how to greet people coming in,
right.
You also got to know how to kick people out too.
Right. So there are times when you just can't find a common language and you just say,
right, this time you're going to have to kick people out.
Don't come here again.
Exactly. Don't ever come back in here again with that attitude again. I done kicked many men out of here.
Yeah. Do they ever come back apologizing and changing their tone?
Some do.
Some do.
Some do.
Okay.
But I like to check the tone at the door because I don't want to sit nobody with a bad attitude in one of these students' chairs.
Yeah.
And make the students.
Because then they get nervous.
Yeah, and it can discourage them. You're gonna deal with people that is that's good-natured and good-hearted.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna deal with some people that just don't care about themselves or others.
What about like if you have a student, like a normal client, you have a student who messes it up. Like they realize they messed up. They picked the wrong razor, they picked the wrong angle. How do you teach them to kind of bounce back?
Me personally. I let them see my deformity. I remind them of my deformity. I remind them of where I came from. I tell them, yo man, I messed up more heads than you done messed up. Yeah. I messed up a whole lot of heads when I first started learning how to cut hair. And I had to get over that. I had to overcome that. And then I also let them know this here. If you don't mess up a head, you're not a barber.
Interesting. Okay, so it's the expectation that you need to mess up to learn from your mistakes and to kind of grow past that.
You have to mess up. You have to mess up.
I think about that with surgery as well. We go through a lot of training to become a surgeon, and you pretty much have to mess up when you're in training to figure out what you're doing wrong, what can be better, and especially in the aesthetic space, which you and I are both in. Especially in the hair aesthetic space, it's tough, because there's like a lot of subjectivity to it. Sometimes it's like, my vision for the person, what I think most people would find to be ideal, is not what that person wants.
Exactly.
You have to try to figure out, are you going to do that for them because that's what they want, or maybe that's so far off from your own aesthetic that sometimes I just say no. That's kind of I see it.
I'm gonna tell you something about barbering too. Cut the client hair exactly how they want it cut.
Right.
You got to give them what they want. Meaning that if a client comes in here and says, listen, I want to patch your hair right here and everything else bald, that's what you got to give them. Even if you don't like it. Even if I don't like the haircut. Even if I think the haircut look whack, or I think the haircut look crazy.
But you'll give it to them.
I'll give it to him.
Okay.
Because that's what he asked for.
But don't you feel though that it's also it's your reputation? Because then he's walking out and I mean, you're in this unique school and a unique situation, but imagine if it was your shop.
That would take away from your reputation.
Okay, so that...
Because you can still make it look good.
Right.
Like say if a person if he was wanted right here, a circle right here, I had that circle real
the perfect circle.
Yeah, perfect circle. And I shave all this ball.
Right,
Make it real nice and clean and bald. So it still look nice.
Right.
But it ain't something that I would wear. Or it ain't something that you would wear, or it ain't something that everybody would wear.
Gotcha.
But if it's something that he wants to wear,
Yeah.
if it's something that he wants to wear, he gotta wear it.
See, that's interesting. I mean, I definitely think about it a little bit differently just because some of the stuff I do, you cannot reverse. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So then I give them a look that you cannot just undo. It's not like all the hair is just gonna grow in around it and it'll be fine.
Right.
So like, I still think of it as like, if they're gonna go, say on the internet or out in public and someone asks, oh, like who did that? And if they point that back to me,
Yeah, they go,
I don't want to be associated
Right.
with it. You know
why?
what I mean? Because it's permanent.
Because in your profession, it's like you putting hair on their head.
And they only have there's a limited amount I can move. So I always think of it as like finite, it's not like you can just create hair. At least we don't have hair cloning right now. So I know I have a limited number, and if they want the hair in a weird place, that's not gonna look good 20, 30 years from now.
Right.
It's not in their best interest. They
Right.
might not realize it. But I just tell them,
You bring it to their attention.
yeah, I bring it to them.
Now, in my case, in being a barber,
Yeah,
I may be offending that person if I bring it to their attention. Like, yo, man, that's gonna look bad on you.
right.
He said, isn't that what I asked you for?
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
In
Yeah.
your profession, you basically let them know, listen, if I put this stitching in here like this here, this is where your hair gonna be for the next 10 years, 5 years, something like that.
No, well, the next, the rest of their life.
Oh, for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If I put this in your hair, it's gonna be like this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Is that what you really want
Right,
for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Where now, if this same guy come to me
right.
and tell me, yo, man, cut all this side of my hair off and leave all this side here.
Yeah. It'll
I
grow
wouldn't-
back.
It'll go back, and I wouldn't even. It ain't up to me if I like it or not.
Right, right.
You see, I can't even. Matter of fact, I can't even tell them I don't like that.
Yeah, but part of it is like the permanence of the result. It's like,
right.
yeah, because you're right. Like you give them a little thing. Maybe they want that for a specific event. You know,
Right,
maybe they're going to
exactly.
some interesting event.
Especially around here, because Broadway plays and stuff like that.
Broadway. Yeah, maybe they need it for
Yeah.
their work.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, the hair will grow back and they'll be back for maybe a different style.
Yeah, exactly.
They might have realized like, oh, see for me, if they realize later that, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that, it's very difficult to reverse it.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yes,
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover, and then of course there's a lot of like uniqueness to barbering versus
Yes,
the
it is.
surgical side.
You got to be a counselor here too.
A counselor,
Sure. It's like being a counselor in barber.
Sure.
Barbering is a counselor,
therapist, yeah.
You're a friend. You got to know how to be courtesy. You got to have courtesy.
You got to be an artist.
You gotta be an artist. You gotta have a vision. You gotta have a vision to see the hair. You gotta have. There's a lot of things that go with barbering.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go with barbering. I think this is why this is one of the professions that's gonna always be manual labor.
Right. There's no robot.
A robot ain't gonna
cuts
cut.
hair. Is there a robot?
No.
Have they made one like that?
I don't think they'll ever make a robot that can cut somebody hair.
Yeah. It's too
Cause-
complex.
Too complex.
Yeah.
It's way more than just knowing how to cut hair.
Right. Right.
You gotta have style and technique. You gotta have attitude and behavior. You gotta know what kind of good attitude and behavior to have as well.
Of course.
'Cause I know a lot of barbers that they real nice at cutting hair. They're good at cutting hair, but they don't know how to communicate. Their communication skills is bad.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't want to deal with people that don't know how to communicate.
Right.
You gotta know how to make people smile.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to make people feel good. I know barbers that ain't too good at cutting hair, but they know how to make a person feel good.
Right. They're very interpersonal. People come back because they just want to see that
Come back.
individual.
Exactly. Because he likes the way he talks to him.
Yeah.
He likes the way he treats him.
But going back to what we were saying with feeling confident, it's the same reason why people come to me for my services and do the other things that they do for
Right.
aesthetic plastic surgery. So that's why actually we coined the name Feel Confident for our brand, for the products. It's
Yeah, this
called
is nice.
that because we kept hearing that over and over that's
This is
why
nice.
people were getting those procedures.
And this is conditioner and shampoo.
You got shampoo, conditioner,
You got a shampoo and a conditioner.
thickening foam. So like moist hair, you can do it on dry hair too. And,
Right.
and they all have these key ingredients here that you see on the front that have to do with like reducing hair loss essentially and encouraging some thickening of the hair as well.
Okay, so
So
that's-
they're a little bit more like medically, formulated. We want people to feel more confident, whether it's products, whether it's barbering or transplant surgery. It's the same idea. We're all kind of shooting for the same end goal.
Right.
At its core, barbering is more than a trade. It's about human connection, artistry, and empowerment. Whether it's through a fresh fade, a clean lineup, or just a meaningful conversation in the barber chair, the American Barber Institute and Herald remind us of the power we hold to impact lives, one haircut at a time.